honor, praises, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Orcha Kodash. Double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles, and elder bishops of Great Millstone, teaching and ruling well. Peace, salutations, and blessings unto the hopeful elect of the house of Israel. All right, Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson. And as it says, royalty, the royal mindset brings to a kingdom. And what is more royal than having wisdom? The wisdom that cometh from on high. Okay, that is what separates Israel from the rest of the nations. Okay, let me bring it up. I believe it's in Deuteronomy 4. It says here in Deuteronomy 4, and I'll start at 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai my power commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. Our wisdom is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Our strength comes in obedience of these commandments and in the fear of the consequences of breaking said commandments. Okay? And the nation will have to see our ways, because they're so different. The Lord did not give the law, statutes, and commandments unto the heathen. Okay? Yeah, he gave them over unto a reprobate mind. He gave them over to vanity, to idols. The Lord is not dealing with these other nations. Okay? But to us, he gave the secrets, or rather the blueprints to life. The blueprints of how to live civil. Okay? How to please the power that created the universe. Okay? It says here, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great, who had the Most High so nigh unto them, as the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai our power is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great, that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day? Okay? Only take heed to thyself, and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, unless they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life. But teach them to thy sons and thy sons' sons. In other words, keep that legacy going. Okay, because again, the law, statutes, and commandments is really what separates us from these other people and what connects us to the Lord. Okay, when we obey, the Lord is nigh unto us. When we disobey, the Lord turns his if we turn our back on the Lord will turn his back on us, and then we'll be left stranded and defenseless. And this is the main reason why we are in the state that we're in today. Okay, because we departed from the Lord and followed after our own thoughts, followed after our own vanity. Okay, so it's important to repent and to return, and the Lord will be gracious unto those that do so. Okay, so it says here in Wisdom of Solomon 6, and I'll start at 9. Unto you, therefore, O kings, do I speak, that ye may learn wisdom and not fall away. For they that keep holiness holily shall be judged holy, and they that have learned such things shall find what to answer. Wherefore set your affection upon my words, desire them, and ye shall be instructed. Wisdom is glorious, and never fadeth away. Yes, she is easily seen of them that love her, and found of such as seek her. She prevented them that desire her, and maketh herself first known unto them. Whoso seeketh her early, diligently, shall have no great travail, for he shall find her sitting at his door. To think upon her is perfection of wisdom. to meditate, to self examine, okay, to go into the scriptures, to go into the law, statutes, and commandments, see how you can better your ways, to follow the ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay, that is perfect wisdom. And whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care. For she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her, shewing herself favorable unto them in the way, and meeting them in every thought. Okay? Again, because if you're immersed in the ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and you're walking in the fear of the Lord, okay, it's going to prevent you from doing stupidity. It's going to prevent you from doing foolishness. Okay? And always walking in the sight of, in a sense, making righteous and wise decisions. Okay? Because you this is the time that we're training ourselves to have a royal mindset. Okay, the way we think, the way we move, the way we operate, okay, is really a righteous mindset. So it says here, and love is the, it says here, for the very true, for the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline. You have to be disciplined. Okay, you have to understand and acknowledge and submit to the order. Okay, you have to desire that. Okay, and the care of discipline is love. Okay, and love is the keeping of her laws. Okay, that's the obedience. In order for you to actually be in order for you to actually say that you love the Lord, you have to obey him. Okay, and the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption, the assurance of a corruption. Okay, because again, it says what corruptibleness will not inherit. Matter of fact, let me bring it out so I don't butcher it. Okay, it says here in 1 Corinthians 15 and 50. Let's see. Come on. Why is it bugging? Okay, it says here, 1 Corinthians 15, and I'll start at 50. Now this I say, brethren, the flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. Okay, you see? So corruption cannot inherit incorruption. Okay, so the keeping of the law assures us of incorruption. Okay, let's see. And it says here, and giving heed unto her laws is the insurance of incorruption. So in order for you to be incorruptible, okay, you have to obey. Okay, starting first of all, most walk in the law of faith, following after the ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay, trusting in Yahushai, having faith in Yahushai and the words of the scriptures. Okay, and then obeying the law, statutes, and commandments. Yes, you won't be saved because you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, but by doing so, you prove that you truly believe. Okay, it's a part of the puzzle. Okay, you cannot just say, yeah, yes, I believe, and don't do the things that the Lord told us to do. Okay, so you have to put forth your hand to the plow, and you have to push forth the effort. Okay, so again, the giving heed unto her law is assurance of incorruption, and incorruption maketh us near unto the Most High. So the more you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, the closer you are mentally, physically, and spiritually to the Lord. Okay, because the Lord is perfect. And Yahweh Shai is the best example of it, because he kept the law, statutes, and commandments to a completion. He fulfilled the law, okay, to the point where now he's sitting at the right hand of the Most High. Okay, he's the right hand man of the Lord. Okay, because of his obedience, because of his temperance, because of his loyalty. Okay, he fulfilled his mission. He came to do the will of the Lord, and he finished it, man. Okay, and and there's still work to be done, but he did his part. As I says, it is finished. Okay, he accomplished the first part of his mission. Okay, and at his return, he's going to accomplish the second part. Okay, But Yahushua is that the perfect example of that incorruption, making us near it unto the Most High. Okay, to the point where he was put to death, and death couldn't hold him because the wages of sin is death. Okay, but since Yahushua did not sin, because Yahushua did not sin in that past life, okay, he was brought back to life. He was quickened by Yahweh. Okay, so again, therefore, the desire of wisdom bring it to a kingdom. A royal mindset bring it to a kingdom. Following after wisdom bring it to a kingdom, and that's for sure. Okay, because everything, all roads lead to the kingdom of heaven. All road leads to the kingdom of heaven, but there's only one way to be inherit to be partaker of salvation. Because at the end of the day, the will of the Father is to establish the kingdom of heaven on earth. Either you're walking on the right hand, or whether you're walking on the left hand, the kingdom of heaven will come to pass. Yahushua cannot deny himself. Okay, you see. But regardless, it all depends on how you want to be seen of the Lord, as a faithful servant or as an enemy. Okay, so you have to pray that desire of wisdom. Okay, bring it into a righteous kingdom. Give it you access to that. Give it you a passage to that everlasting life, to the blessings that the Lord has prepared for those that wait for Him. If your delight then be in thrones and scepters, if you want to be a ruler, if you want to be above these nations, if you want to obtain the blessings that the Lord has prepared for those that wait for Him, O ye kings of the people, honor wisdom, that ye may reign evermore. It starts with wisdom. It starts with wanting to be instructed. It starts with you submitting yourself to the will of the Lord. And that is in itself a royal mindset. Submitting yourself to the highest power, okay? And fulfilling His will, all right? You see? Even to the point where on the fleshy side, Yahushua was even to a point where they wanted Yahushua to be king, but it wasn't time, okay? Because Yahushua had to submit himself to the prophecies, to the will of the Father, and it wasn't time for him to reign, okay? Even though he was the king, okay? It wasn't time for him to sit on the throne. Just as right now we're servants, but eventually Yahweh Ba'ashim El Shai will give us our crowns as long as we remain steadfast for the name of the Lord and stand for wisdom and righteousness and truth and spirit, man. Okay, so Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. A ruler, as it says, a royal mindset leads to a kingdom, and all you have to do is endure into the end with that mindset. Okay, and you will obtain the crown that you therefore that you so much desire. All right, and again, no one will be able to take that away from us. Okay, once you obtain it, no one will be able to remove it from us. All right, so Lord willing, this was edifying. Until next lesson, shalom.